Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Nasrin Padasalai. In today's video, we are going to study about the molecular markers. And I have made this video for notes, like I have made a tabulated form of notes, characteristics and the features of different type of molecular marker. And this will be very much helpful for those students who are preparing for CSIR exam, TBT exam and GATE exam. And I have added a difference between codominant marker and dominant marker. Like many questions have been asked based on this particular topic. At the end of this video, I have also discussed the previous year question paper asked from this topic. So molecular markers are nothing but they are the nucleotide sequence like A, T, G, C, and they had been investigated to the polymorphism present between the nucleotide sequence of different individuals. So every individuals are not same in their genetic makeup. So that particular variations has been used by this molecular marker. An ideal molecular marker should be a codominant and it should be evenly distributed through the genome and it should have a high reproducibility and it should have an ability to detect the high level of polymorphism. So molecular markers are classified into various groups on the basis of mode of action, whether the marker is codominant or dominant, the method of detection, whether the molecular marker is detected by hybridization method or PCR based method, and the last one is mode of transmission, whether it's a parental origin or parental organal inheritance or maternal organal inheritance or biparental nuclear inheritance or maternal nuclear inheritance. So this is first thing we should know what is the difference between codominant marker and dominant marker. Codominant marker generally follow a Mendel path of inheritance. So let's say when we are working with plant trait with two allele, one allele is for wild type color and another allele for mutant form that is small a. So you have three possible genotype like A, small a and two possible phenotype. That is AA for wild type and A small a for wild type and then 2 small a for mutant type. So codominant marker can easily discriminate between a homozygous and heterozygous. So this is a parent generation and this is in P2 that is in the generation. And in F1 you can able to see two bands. Okay. So codominant markers are when you do a PCR, you see both the bands for A and A. Therefore, for AA and AA band, you will see only one band and for AA you will see two band. Okay, for AA you see one band, for AA you see two band and this is a progeny. It is F1 generation you have both the bands and you have one band and one band. One band is for wild type and another band is for mutant type. Okay. So based on this codominant, we can easily discriminate between a homozygous and heterozygous. Whereas in dominant marker, you cannot able to see the recessive trait. Okay, you can able to see this is a wild form when you are getting a band and this is a mutant form. There is no band, so that this dominant marker can able to detect only wild type of gene that is dominantly expressing gene, and this BB is because of this particular gene. The advantage of this codominant marker is that you can distinguish this AA from this AA. Okay. So hybridization markers are nothing but is RFLP and it is an only marker system based on hybridization. An individual or species exhibit polymorphism as a result of this insertion, deletion, point mutation, translocation, duplication, inversion. And this variation will lead to loss or gain of recognition site. Recognition sites are nothing but it is a site where the restriction enzyme will cut and it will lead to a fragment of various length and polymorphism. First you need to isolate an DNA and this DNA will be mixed with a restriction enzyme and it is used to cut a particular loci. Then when you run in an agarose cell page, you will find a separation of fragment producing a series of band and you need to compare this band. The restriction enzymes will not cut the fragment if there is a single base pair variation occur in the recognition site. Okay, so based on this RFLP pattern, we can determine everything. So AFLP means the limitation present in REPD and RFLP were overcome through the development of AFLP marker. This AFLP marker combines the RFLP and PCR technology in which a digestion of DNA is done by RFLP technique and then PCR is performed. AFLP marker are cost effective and there is no need to have a prior sequence information for this AFLP marker. These are the three markers. It is RFLP, a molecular marker based on differential hybridization of cloned DNA to DNA fragment into a sample of restriction enzyme. The marker is specific to a single clone or restriction enzyme combination. RAPD is a randomly amplified polymorphic DNA, a molecular marker based on differential PCR amplification of a sample of DNA from a short oligonucleotide sequence, where we will be employing a primers for this particular technique. ALP is a generation of this restriction enzyme and PCR amplification. And another molecular enzyme is isoenzyme. It is used for detecting the protein. Okay, so isoenzymes are nothing but they are protein marker, and this technique is based on allelic variation for different protein. For example, if you consider allele for malic dehydrogenase, this malic hydrogenase both allele will perform same enzymatic function, but when you run them on an electrophoretic gel, they may differ. Okay, therefore two allele would not get migrate at the same location in a starch gel. So this isoenzymes is used as a protein marker. So these are the entire characteristics of different type of marker. First we see the important thing with the exam point of view. So RFLP, SSR, that is simple sequence repeat, and SNP, single nucleotide polymorphism, are codominant. That is, they can distinguish between heterozygous and homozygous, and we can able to expect two bands, that is A band and AA band for the particular type. Whereas RAPD, RFLP, and ISSR are dominant marker. Reproducibility is high in all the marker, and polymorphism level is that RAPD has detected a very high polymorphism level and RFLP is a medium polymorphism level, whereas rest of them have a high polymorphism level. DNA quality. For RFLP, REPD, RFLP, AFLP, we need a and SNP, we need a greater amount of DNA quality, whereas ISSR and SSR need a low amount of DNA quality. And quantity wise, for RFLP we need a greater amount of DNA, whereas RAPD we need a minimum amount of DNA, whereas for rest of the marker we have only low thing. And cost wise, if you see, only REPD is less in cost since it is usual to simple PCR reaction, whereas the rest of the technique is highly thing. And sequencing, only RFLP and SSR and SNP is applicable for the sequencing strategy and PCR requirement. Except this RFLP, every technique for molecular marker requires this PCR requirement. And visualization, this RFLP is visualized under radioactive autography, whereas rest of the technique are visualized by this agarose gel. And here I had given a required volume of DNA in nanogram. You can refer for the further references. So let's get started with the answering the questions. Which one of the following statement is correct in amplified fragment length polymorphism? PCR used a combination of random and gene-specific primer. This is not a correct reference to AFLP. PCR using a combination of random and gene-specific primers is used in RAPD. PCR amplification followed by digestion of restriction enzyme. This is strong. Digestion with restriction enzyme followed by two PCR steps is the correct thing for AFLP. Next thing is the following are statements about molecular marker in context of plant breeding. Molecular marker can be used for the elimination of undesirable trait. Yes, it is correct. Molecular marker cannot be used for estimation of genetic contribution of each parent in a segregating polymorphism. No, it is wrong, because molecular marker can be used for the estimation of genetic contribution of each individual parent in a segregating population. Molecular markers are used for mapping of QTL, which are possible by conventional technique. Now, molecular mapping and QTL are not possible with conventional technique. Molecular marker can be used with selection of population from a population that is homozygous for a recurrent. Recurrent means continuous parent genetic. It is also true. So the correct option is that option P and option S. So given are the marker profile for two parental line, that P1 and P2 are the two parental line. Here you can able to see band. This is an well and they derived F1 protein. The marker that is presented is given above. Among that which in Kekranga. So here you should know about codominant and dominant marker. If you know codominant marker, here you will have two bands. One band with parent line P1, that is AA band, and another band for this parent line 2. But we have only single band. It means it is a dominant marker profile. So among this, which is a dominant marker, you know. So RFLP is a codominant marker, SSR is a codominant marker, SSR is a codominant marker, and SSR is a codominant marker, but RAPD is a dominant marker. So the correct option is option number D. Which one of the following molecular marker combines the use of both restriction enzyme and PCR? You all know AFLP. Molecular polymorphic marker are already known with respect to TB, resistant in tobacco. Among this, which system you should select for simple, economic and less time consuming? So in that cases, you can go for this RAPD. It's less time consuming and there is no sequence information or no sequencing is required for this RAPD. It's just like our general PCR. Combination of molecular marker with a classification based on either dominant or codominant type are shown below. Which one of the following is the correct thing? So SSR of AFLP is codominant, correct. SSR and RAPD is codominant, wrong. RAPD and RFLP dominant, wrong. AFLP and RAPD is dominant, correct. So the correct option is option number D. A student wrote a following statement regarding a comparison of RFLP, REPD, AFLP and SSR technique used for generating molecular marker implant. Following combination above statement, we need to find the correct statement. All this technique for used for fingerprinting. Yes, correct. Detection of allelic variation can be achieved only by RFLP and SSR. Yes, it is correct. Use of radioisotope is required in RFLP and RAPD. No, it is wrong. For RFLP alone, we need a radioactive virus. For RAPD, we are going for the PCR kind of technique. Polymorphism chain reaction is required for all technique. No, it is wrong. Polymorphism is required only, not required for RFLP. So these are the example questions for based on this molecular marker thing. I hope I had provided you a information about type of questions that has been asked previously in a molecular marker. If you like my content, please click the like button, and if you want more content, please play me in the comment section below. And if you didn't subscribe to my YouTube channel, then click the subscription button below. Thanks for watching.